Welcome to another episode of Psychic Garage. In case you haven't noticed, I am, well, obviously driving, but this is a road trip, and it is car related. I'm not driving one of my classics. This is my boring daily driver, commuting vehicle. I'm going to pick up parts in Saskatchewan. You may remember a few episodes ago that my 54 Meteor had a very rotted out driver's door and I needed a better one. So I made friends with a guy named Richie in Saskatoon, and I got a really good door from him. He has some great cars. And also his friend Luke, who's restored some Meteors as well. From Luke I got a new windshield. So those two guys really helped me out. The door matched the car very nicely and I loved the new windshield. But before I went home from that trip, I asked Richie a question, and here's what happened. Anyways, I asked him one question, and I did not expect an answer. The question was, you wouldn't have one of those overdrive transmissions for these old flatheads. And he goes, oh, I got lots of those. So I'm heading back there now to go pick up an overdrive transmission for a 54 Meteor. This overdrive I speak of is called the Borg Warner Overdrive. It's a transmission that was first used in the 1930s, and it was used in every manufacturer in North America, and last used in Ford trucks in 1972. They were very popular in the 50s because after the war there was still a bit of a gas shortage and cost of fuel was high. So they were popular back in the day, but nowadays I thought they were all gone. So to hear that Richie has overdrive transmissions, I was super excited. The main reason that I wanted one of these overdrive transmissions was so that I could drive it at modern highway speeds. When this car came out, we weren't going 65, 70 miles an hour, and that's very common now. So this overdrive will let me drive my 54 Meteor at that speed, no problem whatsoever. Well, so far, uneventful trip, no issues. I am a little bit behind time-wise. I'm stopped. I'm gonna use the washroom in this gas station. This is where Eric and I stopped last summer on the way to Saskatchewan. Well, that's pretty sad. The restaurant is only open limited hours, just breakfast and lunch only. Sorry. Do you think I'll get a copyright strike on that one? Yeah, wow. When Eric and I stopped through here last summer, it was a busy, considering COVID, restaurant. I talked to the gas station attendant and he said, yeah, they had to limit the hours because they just weren't able to pay employees. And he's not sure when they're going to stretch the hours back out the way they were, but anyways, kind of sad, but it is what it is. So, hitting the road. One thing I'll mention, where I stopped at that gas station restaurant, that was Wainwright, Alberta. So far on this trip, from Stony Plain, Edmonton, through all those towns, Wainwright had the best gas price. I didn't need to fill up, but I'll probably fill up on the way back. This is a great drive. There's nobody on the roads. Scenery is fantastic. I always thought farmers' fields as a kid were boring, but I don't know, I see a different beauty in all of this now. And to think that every quarter section out here years ago had a farm, a house and a barn and everything, and now they're pretty spread out because big farming is the only way to make it. Like there's a windmill right here all by itself. I mean, that was someone's farmyard, but there's nothing there, just a windmill. Times have changed. Just crossed the border from Alberta into Saskatchewan, and this is beautiful territory. I mentioned before that farmers' fields as a kid weren't a thing to me, but now I really appreciate it, and there's farming in my blood. Never had the opportunity to farm. I wish before my grandpa passed that I would have spent time with him at harvest or something. It's too bad, but things happen. But this is gorgeous territory, just beautiful. I've decided to check out this camping spot. It's only 8 minutes off the highway, so it's 8 minutes one way, 8 minutes back, no big deal. I'll probably spend about 4 or 5 minutes checking it out, so we'll be there shortly. Wow, there's a huge lake here. There's a gorgeous view on top of the hill here. There are people here, but well, I see 3 vehicles, but I don't see anyone. That looks like a toilet. If I was desperate, I would camp here. So I won't be going in there. So you can see vehicles over there. But this is a beautiful spot. It's 20 after 7. Sun's pretty high yet. Heck, I'd camp right over here somewhere. I wouldn't have a problem with that. It's been so dry in Alberta and Saskatchewan. Alberta a little better in spots. We've had a little bit of rain, but not a ton. And it's hot out here. Wow. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna hit the road. And what can you say about gravel roads? I mean, we got gravel roads out where I live. I mean, I don't drive to work on a gravel road. But this is all they had decades ago. And you new drivers, young people, it does take some skill. It's like driving on marbles, you know. You can't stop on a dime, you can't turn sharply or quickly. But your attention is really focused. You're always thinking, which is probably a good thing. Okay, back on the pavement. Yes, I got a yield sign. I don't have to stop. There. Better. I kind of misjudged my distance. I've got like, well, it's 184 kilometers. So at 100 kilometers an hour, which is the speed limit, it's going to take less than 2 hours. I was hoping to get there sooner. So be it. The sun should still be up when I get there. In the rural areas of Saskatchewan, you got to stop at all the railway crossings. For the first time in this trip, I have to pass somebody. It's a truck. He's going kind of slow. Old minivan still has some get up and go. It's nice. Back on the divided highway, so I can make a bit better time. It's less than an hour to the spot that I want to camp at. So again, pretty uneventful, just beautiful scenery. And I drove through this just a few weeks ago with my dad. Because we already got some parts from this guy, that door, the windshield. So, just enjoying it. And even on this divided highway, there's not a lot of traffic. It's pretty sparse, so it's good. Oh, I found it. I see the road. Oh my. It's a bit of an off-road trail. Let's see. It's tight but doable. It's a good thing this isn't a little car because I got some clearance. It's tight. Oh man, there's a big dip. Oh dear. Okay, I'm going to the right, to the left rather. Oh! Jeepers. Oh, it's soft stuff, so it won't hurt the vehicle. Pickup truck recommended. But if you go slow, oh, there's a camper here. Shoot. Ooh. It's right near the highway and this old bridge. This bridge is not used anymore. The highway bridge is in behind it there. But I think what I'm going to do is turn the van around, back it in, and I'm going to put my tent right here. See, there's a spot over there as well, but someone's there. Wow. There is a fire ban on right now for the whole province of Saskatchewan. So there shouldn't be any parties out here. Just a little disappointed in the noise from the highway, but I'm pretty tired, so I'll probably sleep well. But yeah, this is it. I think I'll get set up. The birds you see here are bank swallows, and while they appear to swarm the drone, they didn't actually touch it. I was kind of worried about that, so I didn't fly it too far. Now, this bridge was built in the 1930s. It was so the local government could employ farmers that had no work and couldn't maintain crops. And then the bridge was closed in the 80s when they twinned the highway. You can look it up on the internet. It's called the Borden Bridge in Saskatchewan. Well, I've got my camp set up, tent is set up, and I got my stuff in the tent. Sun has probably just set, I'm gonna say. And it's a beautiful spot. I can hear the highway though. But we'll see. I should be able to sleep. And I'm gonna make some popcorn. When I first got here, the mosquitoes were non-existent, but all of a sudden they're starting to come out, so I fired up the thermocell. Hopefully in a few minutes I can get rid of them. I can hear some people talking over here. They're just out playing by the river. They'll probably leave soon. They're not camping. And there is a motorhome over there. They went down that tight trail. Wow, I can't believe it. So I stayed away from them. They're keeping to themselves. And the popcorn is starting to sizzle. call that a successful pop. I'll just cut it open with my knife. Let it cool off. It's pretty hot. That is super hot right now. Just gonna try a bit. It's good. Love popcorn. I might take a walk up to that bridge. I don't know, we'll see. Definitely in the morning. Sorry if the lighting is really poor, but it's very dark. And I've eaten most of the popcorn. That's probably all I'm going to eat tonight. And I'm sure you nutritionalists out there are shaking their heads. But I have probably a fairly big breakfast tomorrow. We'll see. I'm not hungry really, so this should work for now. And Thermocel's working. It's keeping the bugs away. And I'm just sitting here watching the water go by. And even though I am a 5-hour drive from Edmonton, this is the North Saskatchewan River, which also flows through Edmonton, which also is the same river that 3 years ago my son and I nearly drowned on in our canoeing accident. And I was just joking with them that maybe I'll see our old canoe float by. But it's all good now. It's over with. Learned a few things from it. And it's a beautiful river. It's gorgeous here. And I don't know what else to say, but I'll probably get in the tent soon. I forgot to bring a lawn chair, but the van has this feature where you can flip the back seat down for a tailgate party. So I'm having a solo tailgate party. I hope I can sleep with those trucks going by. It's not bad when cars go by, but the expansion joint on the bridge, on this end of the bridge, when a truck hits it, man, is it loud. Bang. If they come from the other way, I don't hear it really, don't notice it, but hopefully traffic just lightens up, and it kind of is already. So yeah, that's that. Well, I kind of wussed out and I'm sleeping in the van. The noise is really loud out there. And so I've got my bedroll and I got lots of room in here. I can lay down. I can sit up if I want like this and read or whatever. But yeah, it is what it is. It's much quieter in here. I just hope it doesn't get too hot in here. I've got a front window cracked. I don't want the mosquitoes coming in. I shut off my Thermocell. It's probably not healthy to breathe that in an enclosed space. So anyways, this is end of day one. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning. I actually slept really well in the van. I just left the tent out here. I didn't want to pack it up last night. So here's where I slept in the van. It was just big enough for me to crawl in there. And it really lessened the noise from the trucks. So yeah, I mean, I woke up a few times, but I actually slept pretty good. And there's lots of these bank swallow birds flying around. So the mosquitoes are almost non-existent, which is really cool. It's starting to get warm already. I don't know what the temperature is, but the sun is really heating things up. So I'm going to pack up that bedroll and think about breakfast. Yesterday when I packed up my gear, I forgot eggs and some other stuff, so I don't have what I need to make breakfast. So I'm just gonna head into town, grab a Tim Hortons breakfast or whatever, and I'll chill here for a few minutes because it's really nice. So I'm standing on the original highway here. The new highway doesn't use this bridge over here. It's a cool spot. Huh, I like this. See, the highway is divided now. This is barely a 2-lane bridge. Just barely wide enough for 2 cars. It may not look like that on camera, but boy, you'd have to slow right down or pretend you're in Europe. There's the 2 guys fishing down there. The underside of this bridge is just loaded with bank swallows. They're what's keeping the mosquito population down. Oh, that blue gazebo thing, there's someone fishing there too. Huh. So you can see where I'm camped. I'll have to look up this bridge. It's called Borden Bridge in Saskatchewan. And this is the North Saskatchewan River. I wonder what this is. Oh, this must be a water level thing. Yeah, Water Survey of Canada for the purpose of collecting water-related data. So this checks the water depth, probably the speed as well, I would guess. This is very cool. I wonder when they shut down this bridge. Must have been a long time ago, because this highway's been divided for decades. And I might have gone down this bridge as a kid if they still had this open in the 70s. Look at that, there's still a light up there. Huh. They would have had fluorescent lights in there maybe, or no, it's got a, looks like it had one big bulb in it. I'd love to be in a canoe and float this. The only thing is the river is very slow here. Where I've canoed this river in Alberta, closer to the mountains, it's much quicker and you don't have to paddle, you just steer. As long as you know where the hazards are, you'll be fine doing that stretch. Judging by the height of these trees, they got to be 25 to 30 years old. Actually, they usually put a date on the new bridges. Even this bridge should have a date on it. I wonder if I can find that. So people drive here from that other direction. And the road just drops right off here into nothing. So it looks like that was the original highway. And then they put up this honking power pole here, right in the middle of the road. Huh. There's this big, gorgeous tree here. Surrounded by caraganas. I remember those as a kid. That is a massive tree. For this part of the country, that's huge. Like, big around, you know. It's probably a 3-foot diameter trunk way up there. I can't even see the base of it. I'm gonna get back to the van and I'm gonna pack up and head out of here. I just spoke to a couple guys who were fishing. They were fishing down there. Now they're walking that way. They're not having any luck, but it is a beautiful morning. It's gorgeous out here. But I think it's time to pack up. Packing up that tent honestly took like 2 minutes. Those pop-up tents are really nice to have. They're not meant for backpacking. That's the only issue with those. But that's been a good tent. It's like 30 years old. So I'm using this Jiffy Pop pan as a garbage collector today. And last night I shook out all the popcorn into the river. It's biodegradable. And I didn't want to keep it next to the tent or the van, because if I'm sleeping there, I didn't want animals snooping in it. So I hung it in a tree, and this morning when I went to go grab it, birds had been pecking in it. I thought that was kind of funny. There's a lot of these swallows. I don't know if you can see them. So yeah, that's it. I've packed up, cleaned up, picked up all of my garbage and more. Leave no trace behind. I'm gonna hit the road right away. Pardon the bugs on the windshield, but this is the road out of here. Just going slow. I don't want to damage the paint too much, even though this is an old van. Still want to keep it looking all right. So far so good. This is easier than coming in. Much easier. And you always get your tires on the high spots if you can, which is usually up against the sides of these type of trails, because the center will have a big hump, you know, like this one. I'm going to go hard to the left so I don't scrape bottom. There we go, and there's the highway. There's the old bridge. It's pretty cool. I didn't catch it on film, but that was steep coming out of that. Big, beautiful bridge. Okay, off to Tim Hortons for breakfast. I just filled up.
Meters, your destination will be on the right.
Blah blah blah. GPS. Just filled up with gas, cleaned the windshield so I can see, and rolling into Tim's here. Oh, I see it. So no fancy homemade breakfast today. So be it.
Your destination is on the right.
Here at Richie's place, this is the car that has an overdrive transmission in it. I believe it's a 51 Ford, and we hooked it up to the tractor, and we're going to pull it all the way to his shop on the other side of his property. Rolling. Looks like the rear end locked up. Yep. We're gonna haul this all the way to the shop. Turning the wrong way. Transmission must be in gear. You can already tell this car has donated countless parts to other restoration projects. There's still a few pieces left, but not much. Quarter panels, trunk lid, doors. Can you picture this car brand new off the showroom floor? Hope that slip hook works. An update. It was a lot of work getting that transmission out, and we haven't had lunch yet. I'm running to get Tim Hortons. And he's actually going to give me a second transmission, a non-overdrive, so that I can make one out of the two, because the overdrive that it gave me, it was a bit crusty inside, but absolutely usable. And the bonus was it had all the wiring associated with it, which is impossible to find. So pretty happy with this. So we're not quite finished, but I'm gonna grab this lunch here and go back, and we'll finish with this transmission, and then I'm gonna hit the road again. I gotta hit my wife's cousin's place. I've got some drone footage of his farm I'm gonna give to him. Then I'm gonna head home, and I kind of doubt that I am going to be camping tonight. I'm probably gonna grab a cheap hotel. I am very tired and it's very hot outside, so I'm kind of wiped. And Richie, I gotta hand it to him, he's 81 years old and he's doing as much work or more than I am, and he's not showing any signs of slowing down. This guy has really inspired me to keep doing what I'm doing, because he's been wrenching on cars his whole life, and he's still doing it at 81 years old. So my hat's off to him. But anyways, I'm gonna pick up this drive-through lunch and head back. Well, that was rather unexpected. Someone in front of me paid for my meal at Tim Hortons. This is kind of a Canadian thing that's been going on for years. I've done it for someone else before. But that's the first time out of the blue that someone did it for me. So I've been having a good day, but this really made my day. Pretty cool. From out of province, and someone buys my lunch, doesn't even know who I am. Wow. I am really tired. I left Richie's place about an hour ago. What a long day. And in the end, I have 4 transmissions here. Wow. He is so generous, and he's really trying to help me out. So we spent a few hours working on that car, taking that transmission out, and we took it apart, and it was pretty crusty inside. And then after all that, but he said, you know, this can be cleaned up, and I believe him. Every time I cleaned the rust off a gear, the gear was fine. It was the housing of the transmission that inside was rusting, and the rust was just spreading around. Anyways, he realized that was a shorter version of the transmission, so he found another one, and in the end, long story short, gave me 3 different overdrive transmissions, including the one we took apart, and a regular 3-speed, because you can use a lot of parts out of the regular transmission in the overdrive transmission. So, wow, fantastic. Thank you, Richie. And then I got this from him. I bought this off of him. That is amazing. And for a 1954, to me that's priceless. I paid for that, but it was a fair price. And then, do I have that other piece here? Oh yeah, I do. I am missing this piece. This is the emblem off my trunk lid. And his friend Luke had it for me. And then I also bought from Luke the 52, 53, and 54 Ford shop manual about this thick. Again, these guys are really helping me out. And they consider me the young guy, which is kind of funny because where I work, I'm an old guy. But, you know, they're both looking at me going, you're the next guy that can carry this along. So I really, really value that. Wow. So I really appreciate what Luke and Richie have done for me here. And, you know, I'm not going to put this overdrive in right away. That might be a couple of years from now, but I have it, and I can, you know, put all the wiring in ahead of time, whatever. So, yeah, I can't believe I have these pieces, and they're going to keep an eye out for some other little things that I need. So, wow. Anyways, I am definitely not camping tonight. I am absolutely wiped. Probably have borderline heat stroke. It was very hot out today, and I'm doing better now. I almost did a supersize meat. All I had for supper, Richie and I both had a large McDonald's milkshake. Oh, it was good, but that didn't work very well. So I'm drinking lots of water and iced tea. I should probably drink some Gatorade and get my electrolyte back because I haven't had to go to the washroom all day. I've been sweating it all off. So, doing way better now. Oh man, an hour ago I didn't feel so good. So I'm not camping tonight. I'm going to my wife's cousin's farm. They offered and I accepted. They offered to take me in for the night, and I'm so appreciative of that. Because if they didn't invite me over, I was just going to get a hotel. Because I like to take a shower and just chill. And so it'd be good to chill there and visit with them. It's been a while. So, anyways, got another hour or so to get to their house. Scenery is fantastic out here. Driving into the sun, but still high enough, it's not really bothering me yet. So yeah, that is my day. And I'm sorry I didn't get it all on film, but man, oh man, that was a long day. Hot. We went in one of his shipping containers looking for parts, and there was an automotive, like an engine temperature gauge, and in the container, and we were in there for a while. The gauge showed 110 Fahrenheit. That's hot. So it wasn't that hot outside, but it was 90 plus Fahrenheit, 33, 32 Celsius. Very hot today. So we're not used to that in this part of the country. We've got a heat wave, and I live west of here, and the heat wave is moving east. So where I live, we're kind of getting out of the heat wave, but they've been in it they're kind of in the middle of it right now here. It's slowly moving farther east, farther away. Anyways, enough about that. Some beautiful, gorgeous rolling hills over here. And I think that's it for today. And probably for the rest of this episode. I'm just going to go home and take all this stuff home, put it away, and deal with it later. I finally got myself an overdrive transmission. Not finally, I mean, I'm amazed. I've only had this car less than a month and a half, and I've already got an overdrive for it. Unreal. So I'm very likely keeping this car for good, and I'll be able to take it on trips because it's got an overdrive. I don't want to drive it on our modern highways and wring that engine out, so this is a good thing. Anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't, and like click the thumbs up. See you next time. Thanks for watching Second Crash.